All right, Divyan is here.
Divya!
Hey Divyan, welcome to the call. Good mornings.
Good morning, sir.
Good
Hello.
morning. Good morning. Are you in town or are you out of town?
Out of town. I'm at my grandma's house in Chennai.
In Chennai. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Your native place is Chennai, huh?
No, I'm Marwadi,
Uh-huh.
but my grandma lives in Chennai.
Oh, interesting.
My
Interesting.
mom was born here.
Oh, wow. Okay, so your grandparents are from the business community
Yeah.
in Chennai, right? All right.
Yeah, they have a paper business.
Paper business, right. Nice. All
There.
right. Hi, Moana. Good morning.
Hi, B. Moana.
Hi, Moana. Good morning. Welcome to the call. Oh, wow. You have something in your hand. Hi, Darshana. Good morning. Oh, wow. What have you made?
Mute, huh?
I
Now
made this
say.
mini theater out of small bricks, like almost, I'll show you, this small.
Oh, so you made the bricks also?
No, the bricks were ready made. I
Huh.
made this, and
Even
now what
I
is?
have.
Very cool. So you're doing modeling in the real world. Yeah?
Yeah, and I made this by my mind. Over here, two rows of chairs over here in the middle, and on the side also two rows of stairs. And there
Nice.
will be a big screen over
Big
here for
screen.
the theater.
Arey wow. Amazing. Good job. I like it. You're doing 3D modeling in the computer and outside the computer as well.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Set it
Perfect.
up once more.
All right. So we are going to wait for the
Hi,
arrest. Yeah.
Moana.
Anika wants to say hi. So
Hi,
while we are
Anika.
waiting, one second. Let me. This is started recording. All right. Yeah. So while we are waiting, let's talk about how was how have you done what we were doing yesterday? Have you made any progress? Let's start with Divyan. Yeah, Divyan.
I worked on the I worked on the cockpit a bit. I set up a camera and I'm just adding details to whatever is being shown.
Uh huh.
And I think the since yesterday we talked about putting a cap on the robot,
Mm-hmm.
since it's like a cylinder, but the top face is a bit,
Tapering.
yeah, it's a bit stretched out. I don't think a cap will really make sense on that.
Really? Because generally a captain's cap is tapering upwards like that.
Yeah, but the captain's head is also tapering upwards.
So it's a shape that's just a little bigger than that. One second. Let me
I'll
just.
try that.
Yeah, as in, if you were to. One second. Let me share my screen.
I
And.
added details to the rest of the cockpit.
Huh. Very good.
And
One second, Mohan. I'll come to you. One second. I'll give you a chance. Don't worry. I'm sharing my screen. So, Divyan, what I was saying is. Yeah, you can see my screen, right? So, your robot, okay, essentially has a head like. Oops. Sorry. One second. I am on the wrong brush. Yeah, and I'll increase the size of the brush. Okay, so your robot essentially has a head like this, right?
Yeah.
And what we are trying to do is we're trying to put a cap on it somewhere here, right? Okay, this is the kind of
Yes.
cap we're trying to put. So your cap ka top shape will be something like this. It'll just be bigger than the circumference of the head. That's it. The shape is the same. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And in fact, this is exactly the shape of a captain's hat. Generally, captain's hats are like something like that. And then they
I'll try
have.
making it in the session.
Sorry?
I'll try modeling
Yes,
that out.
yes. So we are just going to today's session. You're just going to be continuing building your scene and filling it out. Okay, because today we have to do a little bit of animation. We have to do some planning of your animation. So get to it right now as I'm talking to Moana. Okay, you try to
Can I
complete. Sorry.
can I share screen and show the rest of the
Yes,
cockpit?
yes. And actually, your cap is actually a secondary aspect. Okay. You can work on it later. All right. What we want to see is one second. I'm stopping to share. You can share your screen. What we want to do is like we did blocking for the environment, we have to do some animation blocking as well. That's more important right now. So your cap can come in later as well. Oh, nice. I like it. Let me see. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Okay, so yeah, take me. So this is your camera view.
Yeah, this is from the camera.
All right. So okay. So a couple of things about your frame, okay? First off, it doesn't look like he's in the cockpit. That's because you can see so much of the floor, okay? It looks like he's in some part of the spaceship, right? Generally, a cockpit would be where he's the central piece and everything is around him, right? Right now, what we are seeing is that he's somewhere to the left of to the right of the frame, and to the left of the frame seems like there is some console, right? So right now in this visual, we aren't clear as to is this a cockpit. Now, why I want to so at this point is where you want to start taking some references, right? So did you put references of a cockpit of in your Pinterest board? Did you create any references or look for references?
I
Huh.
haven't added them in Pinterest, but I looked for some cockpit searches
Ha.
online.
So this is the point where, see, this is where you can realize, oh, you haven't worked with references, and that's where you're kind of moving around in the dark, right? You've made a cockpit, you're trying to place it, but you see, the final framing isn't clarifying anything, right? When I say anything, you right now you can see the back of your robot. So even if you have a hat on him, you won't be able to see it, right?
So what I was thinking in the animation.
Yes.
So wait.
Yes. Tell me what you're thinking. Then we can
Select
clarify.
wait, I selected those objects. Yeah. Wait. One minute, the wrong objects here.
What
It's
is
in the
that?
wrong collection.
Uh-huh.
I just need to move it into the other collection.
Okay.
Okay, so now select objects. So in the animation, it would be so everything would be dark. So if we go in this preview, currently everything would be dark.
One
The
sec, just one
robot
second, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, what were you saying? Go ahead.
So first, everything would be dark. So in this preview, then the robot, the origin is here. So basically, then he would rotate a bit from his antenna. It would beep red once or twice, and then and then I'll add the lights. So then everything will boot up.
Acha, okay. And then once he beeps and the lights turn on, then what happens?
He beeps, the lights turn on, and then I'll make it. I need to make it look like there are stars behind us, and then I'll move those so it will look like the spaceship is moving ahead.
Okay, okay. Sure. So you have some thought process, you have some approach, okay? Now, what I would suggest, okay? One second. Let me just take a screen grab of your image. Just a second. Function, print screen. Okay. Anika, 1 minute. All right. You can stop sharing now. And let me help you this thing. In the meanwhile, while I'm setting this up for Divyan, Moana, tell me how was it for you and what have you done so far?
Can I start modeling?
Yeah, Avi, you can definitely start modeling. Continue. You start modeling your bank heist, whatever you were thinking, right? Huh? You start doing that.
Wait, it got now.
Hey, who came here?
I tried rotating it, now it worked.
What rotating what?
The robot, just to show you how it would be in the animation.
Okay. So you want to show me? Show me your screen.
Yeah, I'll share again.
Yeah, show me your screen. Yeah, Moana, you were telling me, na? You want to share your screen or you can just describe it to me? Okay, wait, now Divyan is showing, so let me see Divyan's thing.
Yeah, so
See.
then he would.
One second, my screen has kind of got locked. Yes, okay, show
Can
me.
you see?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just go into the cam. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you have
Where's-
WhatsApp on the computer you're working on?
Yeah.
Can
I
you,
do.
after you do this, right, after I see this, can you just send this file to me as well? So I will open
Sure.
it at my end and I will demonstrate something. Okay, so this guy will move like that, you're saying, huh?
Yeah, and this would still currently be in the dark.
Huh.
There'll be some lights to show what he is,
Huh.
but not much around the cockpit. But then most of the lights will appear,
Uh-huh.
and it will then look something like this.
Uh-huh.
Stars behind us, they would start moving.
The stars behind would start moving, right? So basically
Yes,
he's
that will
come in,
move.
he's turned on his system and it starts moving, right?
Yeah,
Wonderful. Okay. Okay. Send me this file right now, okay?
sure.
Quickly. And I will kind of try to show you something here, okay? In the meanwhile, Moana, let me hear from you. You can stop sharing your screen. Yeah.
Can you just take my AnyDesk because something happened to my head and it disappeared?
Your AnyDesk now for some reason isn't working properly, yaar. Let me see.
Just a
Can you
minute.
try Alt H, just unhide everything?
Show me what is your number 1083912699. Okay, Divyan, while we are talking, right, what I want you to do is I want you to go to your Pinterest board and look for Star Wars cockpit references, and I want you to focus on a references where oops, this is the problem. One second, I'm just going to turn off the. So, yeah, this AnyDesk has this echoing thing. When I do the AnyDesk, Moana, I'll be turning off my mic, my speaker, so I won't be able to hear you. All right. So, just quickly tell me what is the problem with your file?
Yeah, so can you see it?
No, I can't see it. I've turned it off because my voice is echoing.
Okay, I'll just share it 1 minute.
You're sharing your
And
screen?
yeah,
Okay. So as I was saying, the Divyan, while we are doing this, you go
yeah.
ahead. Okay. You go ahead and get references of cockpits. Okay.
I don't know why these planes have appeared in my robot's head.
You know what? You want to replace that cube. Now you can't really fix that cube, right? So just select that face ka cube and delete it. Okay. And add another cube.
Yeah.
Okay. And what you can do is before you delete, before you delete, undo,
Wait.
undo. Okay. So I want to show you something right now. Okay. If you click on the icon under the tool under the selection tool on your toolbar, can you see there is a circular up? The first tool is the selection tool. You are on the bottom. Yeah. Yes, that one. Below that is the cursor. Below that is the cursor. So when you click on the cursor, just click on that. Okay. So right now just orbit around your scene. I want to see where that cursor is. Okay, so there is no cursor, I can't see it, right? So what you want to do is select the head, okay? And Moana, you have to stop using this as the gizmo for orbiting, okay? You got to use the shortcut, which is control and middle mouse,
Yeah.
okay? There you go. See that's your cursor, okay? So what I want you to do, go back to your selection tool. Selection tool is above the cursor tool. So the cursor tool is for you to manually move the cursor. Now click on the cube. Click on the head. Yeah, the head cube which you're going to delete. Okay. Now press Shift S on your keyboard. Shift S is the shortcut for cursor options. Okay. And now here there is an option down called cursor to selected.
Yeah.
Click on that.
I can't click.
Why?
Not happening.
Then just press 2.
Just press 2 on your keyboard.
Just a minute.
Yeah. So can you see your cursor has now jumped exactly to the origin of that cube?
Yeah.
Okay, it's jumped exactly to the origin because we have selected cursor to selected. So that option which I'm saying Shift S is to move your cursor. Okay. Now you can delete that cube. Okay. Now I'll tell you why we put the cursor there. Okay. So now
Yeah,
we
so
delete.
that the cube comes in middle only.
Exactly. So your new cube will come exactly in that position. And now you just have to scale it. Okay. That's how you use the cursor. Okay.
Yeah.
Now see another thing, Moana, while you're working, okay, you got to keep framing selected. See, right now you are always, your object is somewhere in the corner of your view, right? So always select the object you're working on. Select the object. Okay. And I'll show you a keyboard shortcut. On your keyboard, there is a button above tab on your left side. It's called the tilde.
Tab.
Above tab.
Wait, 1 second.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
Above tab, there's a tiny button. It looks like a comma.
Yeah.
Press that button. Now, when you press that button, this menu appears. Isme you can see top view, side view, right. In that, there is view selected.
Yeah.
Press view selected. There you go. So this is how you should always be working. You shouldn't be having your object so tiny in the corner of your viewport, right? Whatever you're
Yeah.
working on, always frame selected so that it is clear, large in your face, so that you know what you're doing, right? Okay. Hey Anika, what are you doing there? Are all my computers shifting? All right. Okay. So that's what you have to do. Huh? All right. Now you can continue doing, making those changes. You know, you want to extrude the face a little bit or do something like that, you can do that. All right. Okay. What happened to my camera? Yes, 1 second. Okay. Okay. So now you can turn off your screen sharing. Okay. And let me show. So Moana, did you set up your camera and all? You haven't done that, right?
No, I'll do it now.
Yes, so you start doing that, right? Put your camera, okay, and I will just quickly demonstrate some things for you guys, okay? Share my screen. All right. Okay, today a whole bunch of people are missing, okay? I think Pratyush is not here, and
Pratyush doesn't come for the last 3
yeah,
classes.
he's
I
not
think.
come for 3 classes, and so is Ashmin today. What happened to her? Okay, 1 second. I'm saving a file now. Blender level 2, Brobot, save. Divyan. Oh God, just 1 second. Avi, can you get the door? Someone is calling on the. Yeah. So you can see my screen, right? Divyan? Oh, just a second. Yeah. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. So, so what I was saying is when I open, don't save, and I'm going to open Divyan's file. Robot Divyan. All right. So here I have Divyan's file. Okay, all of you can see this, right? So the first thing, so all of you might have some scene like this, right? You might have a small environment and you might have your robot inside, right? Like for example, Moana, you have your moon right now, okay? And then you have your robot and astronaut on top of it. Now, how do you match that to what you drew, right? Like for example, let me just draw this quickly here. Let's add a drawing option. 1 second. Object mode, shift A. I hope Divyan, you're with me, right? Are you, or are you away from your table?
Yeah.
You are with
I'm
me,
here.
right? Okay. Turn on your camera, please.
I've kept my camera off for some time because there's an internet problem.
Acha, okay, fair enough. All right. Blank. Okay, so did I add the grease pencil? Yeah. Okay. Draw and 1 second. Okay. So, Moana, you might have something like this, right? You have a big moon and then you have your robot on top and another robot on top, right? Now, how do you start composing your scene, right? You already have the elements for your scene, right? Now, our first scene was what? You had something like this. You have a frame like this. You are seeing only part of the moon. the robot is on top, and then you have the earth in the background. This is how your composition looks. It's a very simple composition. Yes, Moana?
And there will also be small dots in the sides for the stars.
Sure, sure. There will be small dots in the sky for stars, right? But your main composition includes what? Earth, robot, astronaut, and one side of the moon. Correct? Is that right? Okay. So how do you begin to set this up? The first thing is you have to put a camera, right? And place your camera. So get into the camera view and place your camera in such a way that you can only see half of this. And then start placing your, and then you make a separate window, and then you start placing your astronaut and your brobot in the right position, right? So you do that much. Okay, you start doing that, and you keep and listen to my conversation right now. Okay, so I'm also demonstrating something. You can build that, and Avi, you can also start building what you're building. All right. Okay, so Divyan, same thing, similar thing. Okay, for you, I'm going to just demonstrate here itself. Object mode. So here we are in your cockpit. All right. And so the first thing I'm going to do is so when you have a setup like this, before you can do anything, you should put a camera. This is what I've been saying.
I already have a camera.
You have a camera. You've set the camera. Where is the camera? Camera.
It's in the setup.
Okay.
It's in the setup collection.
Yes, it's there. Okay, one second. Here I have my this thing.
No, this one I think is the
Yeah.
one you just did.
No, I jumped into the camera. I didn't make a camera. This is the camera you have made, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So here you have the camera, and now one second. I'm going to jump into the camera, and I'm going to lock the camera view. Oops, view, camera to view. Okay. There you go. So this was the kind of view you had. Okay. And now I'm going to try to modify this and get a nice storytelling view. Okay. So here, your robot, have you created an empty that controls your robot?
No.
So the robot, everything is in different. Okay, everything is in different arm, body. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, one second, and this whole thing is in the cockpit. Acha, cockpit is like this. Okay. So cockpit ko we will, one second. Okay, so before I start trying to move things around, okay, generally a cockpit, you would, see, if you're showing a view like this, okay, so now this is kind of specific to your situation, but there are some things that I'm saying that Moana and Avi also you can apply, okay. So what is the primary goal of creating a frame? The primary goal of creating a frame actually is clarity, right? Because we are telling a story with a single image, right? You might have animation where the robot is moving here and doing something and all of that. But if you were to think of it as a static frame, single image, imagine it's a painting on a wall, right? And that's how you want to approach every animated sequence or scene, where the first camera position, you have to want to treat it like a single static image. And when you treat it as a single static image, then you don't have any animation, you don't have any other thing to help you clarify what is happening in the scene, right? See, of course, when you have a robot turn his head and go there and do all of those things, you are able to clarify what is happening to the audience when someone who's seeing this for the first time has no clue what's happening, right? So how do you clarify everything in a single image, right? And I was having this conversation with Avi yesterday, that I'm teaching you, I'm training you to ask questions to yourself, right? Like when you create something, you create an image, you have to ask questions to yourself. Now, where are those questions coming from, right? Think about it. Where are those questions coming from? I'm not asking you to just come up with questions. I'm actually asking you to put yourself in the shoes of your audience, of the viewer who's going to see the work, right? Of whoever is going to see it. Just imagine someone is seeing it. Now, what are the questions that audience will come up with? Like, for example, if you see any image, right? Like, if I show you any image or any scene from a movie, you will have questions, right? Who's that character? Where is he going? What is he doing there, right? And actually these are the questions that we have answered in our homework, correct, Moana? Divyan with me, right? So the questions that you are asking are actually the questions an audience would ask who have no clue what they are looking at. Like, you've been making a robot for the past week. You've done referencing for the cockpit, and you know that there is this reference and you want to make a robot scene and all of that. But if you show this to your parents, they have no clue what this robot is, why you've made it and all of that. How can you clarify it in one image to them? Absolutely clear कि क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे, right? That is the goal of an artist. That's the goal of a visual communicator. You are communicating through your visuals, right? And so you want to start asking questions that a audience would ask. कि अच्छा, if someone who doesn't know anything, अच्छा ये कौन है, ये like someone who doesn't know anything will be like, अच्छा ये क्या है, ये कौन है, इसका दो wheels क्या है. Now from this view, definitely you can't see these, right? So you can't tell he is a captain, right? From this view, definitely you can't, there is no way to tell he's a cockpit, he's a pilot, because this environment doesn't exactly look like a cockpit from this angle, right? It definitely looks like a spaceship for sure, but it looks like some part of a spaceship, right? And not exactly the cockpit. So let's go ahead and start looking at some references, which I was asking you to do, right? Not a problem. So this is all a learning journey, right? We're all learning, and you want to keep updating your ability, right? So let's look at a cockpit, spaceship. One second, I'm just going to bring the Pinterest onto the sharing screen. One second. Now see, this is what I mean. Can you see in almost all cockpits, you have a central camera view? Can you see that? Almost all, only a couple which are sideways are really long shots, or you can see the camera is placed on some other desk, right? But almost every cockpit has a central kind of setup. That means the camera is somewhere here like this, right? And so if you were to have this like this, that means this shape would be one second, grease pencil. If I'm drawing a top view of your cockpit, okay, draw mode. So imagine I'm drawing a top view. So this is the why is this not drawing? Okay, on here. So imagine this is the this is the problem with grease pencil. It's a little finicky. Why is this not drawing now? Draw mode. Oh god. Okay, I'm just going to draw with the annotate tool. Object mode, annotate tool. So if we were to just draw your cockpit from the top view, okay, exact top view. So this is the front part, the front window, this one, and the sides would go like this instead of coming in like this, right? So if they go like this, then your robot sits somewhere here and my camera comes here. This is your camera. So then in the camera's field of view, you will see the edges of your cockpit, and the cockpit can have a table here, table here, table here, and there are lots of buttons and lots of dials and all that stuff, right? So in your camera view, you will see this whole thing, and then of course you will have your window. So if I were to draw this a little differently, let me draw it in this view, okay? So say you have your robot like this, okay, and then he has his desk, and then he has his huge screen or the huge window on both sides. And maybe you could pull out a bit and actually have the top of the windows also visible, right? And then on top there is some dials and whatever. And he is sitting maybe on a chair, so you don't have to show his legs. Or he has some kind of docking station, right? Like he goes and fits inside that docking station. So that could be the animation, that this guy actually comes from here. So he rolls in from here and goes and sits in that docking station, right? And all the lights turn on, and then in the distance you probably have like a planet that even further clarifies. So can you see now this kind of a view is a lot more clarified? Yeah, Divyan?
Yes.
Yeah, this kind of a view is a lot more clarified. Okay, and so this is what I mean by doing thumbnails. Can you see I'm just testing, I'm checking, I am looking at references, and very quickly I'm just planning. अच्छा मेरा robot यहाँ से आएगा, यहाँ पे okay chair नहीं दूंगा उसको, उसको एक docking station, because he's a robot, right? So maybe this spaceship is specially designed for this robot to go and fit inside that, right? And so I could have some kind of a docking station, and the docking station could be just a cylinder in which he goes and sits, right? And he kind of fits in, so his head maybe animates down or something like that. I don't know, right? And now another thing is, you want to also imagine he has those shoulder things, right? How do you show that? Or how do you show his cap? So now inside of this, so I'm going to leave this up to you. Think about it. कि ये अगर animation है, ये frame है, तो how do we show that? Maybe we could zoom in, like maybe you could make more of the environment, right? Little longer, more buttons, right? Random buttons or something like that. Okay, and maybe our camera, he is in the camera, he is facing the camera, and we see all of that clearly. Then he turns around and goes behind, right? And as he goes behind, the camera zooms in, right? There are so many things you can do, so many things you can think about. Of course, I know this is the first time you're doing something like this, right? First time you're thinking about camera moves, first time you're thinking about establishing. So it's fine to struggle, okay? Moana, just a second, right? You're with me, right, Moana and Avi? You're listening to this, right? And seeing the demonstration, right? So notice what I did, okay? I quickly went to reference and I saw these kind of references, and then I saw, oh, okay, the camera view has, like, look at this guy. See, this is exactly what I was drawing. See this? Right? So you have this table, you have all of this, and this is, so, there's another, like I was telling you in the first session, right? Humans think in symbols, right? Your audience also thinks in symbols, right? They are definitely not artists or, people who draw. They think in symbols, and that's why you will notice many movies have the same kind of setup, and that's why you can see here the cockpit looks the same. All designs, even in these cockpits look like the cockpits from Star Wars as well. Some, they look 2D, the coloring is different, the shading is different, but the general layout is the same, because that's become a symbol now, right? In reality, spaceships are not like this, like a rocket or a shuttle that they send to space right now. It doesn't look like this, it's very different, right? But this has become the symbol for cockpits, right? Because all movies have this, and so everyone sticks to this because it becomes easier for the audience to understand, right? So if you think about it in one sense, this is a visual language, right? This is a visual language. Like, you look at action movies, the name of the movie, the actors, and the story might be different, but there are lots of similarities between all action movies, right? Because that also is kind of symbolic. And when they do a certain thing a certain way, the audience doesn't need to think too much. Yeah, they understand, ye wo hai, and think about what I've said, okay? And as you look at movies, look at other artwork, look at other images, you will realize what I'm talking about, right? Like how it's symbolic, right? It's a language, a visual language, right? So, so coming back to Divyan, this is what I want you to do right now, okay? Look at the references, pick whichever you like, and start to modify your background. See this, modify your, right now you have this tilting inwards, right? Tilt it outwards. Place a camera first, okay, so that you're seeing through the camera, okay? Place the camera first, and then kind of, so right now what you're actually doing, this stage is called the layout stage in animation. You have your assets, you kind of blocked it out, now you're laying it out for animation, right? So this is the layout stage. This again is a similar like blocking. It can also be called blocking, right? But it's a scene blocking, not a model blocking. You are blocking out your scene, okay? So clear, Divyan, any questions about this? Okay, so go ahead and do these. Sorry?
No, I don't have any questions.
Perfect. So go ahead and do this as I'm talking to Moana, all right? Okay, yes, Moana, tell me. Tells me. Now, if I were to quickly do something with, actually, I'll do that, not now. Moana, you ask me your question.
Yeah. So, um, I'll tell.
Sorry? Any desk?
I'll tell.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I made I got the robot and the astronaut to the one side of the moon, and now I'm just keeping it on. And how should I show that the astronaut is showing one side to the robot that you have to go there?
Okay. So, okay, look at my screen, okay, Moana. Okay, quickly I'm going to demonstrate something. Shift A, I'm just going to make your scene here, okay. So, I made a UV sphere and I increase the size quite a bit, okay. And then I bring it down GZ, okay. So, he's down somewhere here, okay. Now, I know that I don't need my whole sphere because my camera is only going to see one part of it. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into edit mode, okay, and I'm going to go into X-ray mode, okay, so I can see through, and I'm going to select half of this sphere, okay, and I'm going to delete the vertices, X vertices, okay, because I don't want such a big space sphere. All right, there you go. So I have a half a sphere and I put it under the grid. Okay, now let me add a cube for our astronaut. Okay, and I'm going to scale him so he's taller. This is our astronaut, and I'm going to duplicate this cube GX, and I'm going to make this guy smaller so he is the robot. Okay, and I'm going to make him stand on top, so GZ, he's on the surface, and this guy GZ, he's on the surface. Okay, there you go. So now I have a planet or this thing. Maybe I can make this a little bigger, so I'll scale this up, GZ. Okay, there you go. All right, so here I have this kind of thing. Now what I'm going to do is, now is the time where I have to put my camera. Okay, so see, look, I'm just blocking my scene. I haven't made any detail, just blocking my scene. So now let's add a camera. Shift camera and jump into the camera, lock the camera and come out. All right, okay, now here is our camera, and I'm going to try and place my camera in a way that I like.
But it should be in the side because you even have to show the earth.
Yeah, we'll show the earth, no? That's what I'm working on right now. I'm just working on the positioning.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's perfect.
Yes, see? There you go. So it's on
Earth
the,
will be.
there you go. So it's on the side a little bit. Okay. And now, once again, rotate X. Yeah. I don't like this pointed part on the, on the UV sphere. So I'm going to rotate it a bit. So I get rid of that, right? I'm rotating on the X. There you go. So see, I put that out of the frame. Okay. And these guys I'm going to move a little front. So G, Shift Z. Oops. Yeah. There you go. Okay. So these guys are on top here.
Can I share my screen?
One second, Avi, let me just demonstrate this, then I'll come to you. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to add another mesh and UV sphere, and this is going to be the earth. I made it really small. Now that I have a camera, I'm going to make my panel. This is my camera panel, and this is where I will work. Make this a habit, okay? This is how you want to work. Okay. So now I have this selected, GY, move this back, GZ, move this up, and see, as I'm moving it in this side, I can see it here, right? So I can place it properly. GX, move it to the back. There you go. That's some kind of a position, and I'll increase the size. GY or GX. There you go. All right. So here we have a blocking. Very clear, right? It matches the drawing that you did, right? And so this actually is the first step. You know, this is the first step. And everyone listen to me. Listen to this, okay? In an animation studio, actually, right? When we make films and we make ad films and we make movies, this is how the film actually starts. Every scene, there is a department, there is a group of people who work on something called pre-visualization, previs, right? And at this time, none of the character models are ready. None of the assets or none of the environments are ready. All the art department is actually working on it. But the previous department already starts building out the scene based on a rough storyboard, right? A rough storyboard is made with the director. The director has the idea, this is going to happen in this scene. then this will happen, then this guy will run here and do that and go there and do that. And so he narrates this whole story to the storyboard artist. The storyboard artist makes a rough drawing, like how we've been doing rough drawings, right? He makes a rough drawing and it goes to the previous department. And the previous department makes almost the whole film like this, where the character is just depicted with a cube. Literally, this is how a movie starts, right? And can you see how quickly I made this scene? And that's the reason why a movie starts this way, because when you make it so quickly and so fast, and you're not worried about the model and the environment, you can make changes. You can quickly make changes. Acha, this is not working. Okay, I'll put the camera here. I'll put the camera here, right? And then when your models are ready, all you have to do is bring them here and place them, right? That is the benefit of 3D. 3D works that way, right? And so this stage, so Avi, when you are also blocking right now your scene, you want to block it like this. Divyan, when you are also blocking your scene, before you start adding the buttons and the panels and all of that, just block it out. Just make the front, side, put your camera, block everything roughly, right? I probably demonstrate that also for you. Okay. So Moana, now this is what you have, right? Now, what was your question? Your question was, how do you make him point towards something that's important? Correct? Right. So that now we can do with animation and action, right? Right now, this frame, whenever you have a frame, this is what I call a composition. We have composed a frame. Why is it called a composition? Because this is composed of multiple elements. It's not just one thing. It's not just one robot. You have robot, astronaut, planet, and Earth in the background, and the sky in the background. So you have taken multiple elements, put them together to compose this one frame, right? And this is a composition. So every still frame is referred to as a composition. So whenever I say fix your composition, I mean change something about the framing, change something about the object placement, change something about your zoom in, zoom out, right? Or I'll say, your composition is out of balance, right? See, right now this composition is in balance. Why? And we'll get into these things, but right now in balance because you have this object here. It balances these objects. Now, for example, if I have a frame like this, does this look as good as the previous one? No, right? This composition is out of balance, looks weird. It has the same elements, right? But it doesn't look so nice, right? Because there's too much confusion here. Ye iske sar ke upar kyun hai? Right? Now, the same thing if I would do like this. Now, this is to a full confusion. You don't know what's happening, right? Can you see the silhouette of our character and the earth is totally mixed up? If you do again something like this, this is also not so cool because it could work if you change the position of this guy. Now maybe it could work. You're getting a sense of what I'm talking about in terms of composition? Yes, Divyan? Say yes, Divyan.
Yes.
Ha. Yeah, you can say no also if it's not clear. Don't just follow what I'm saying. Yes, Divyan, so you say yes. Okay, so you see, so now I have, and see this composition is also kind of weird, right? But this one looks nice. Can you see? Yeah, Moana? So this is the first job you want to do, including you, Divyan and Avi, okay? Because at the end of the day, we are seeing what's through the camera. So camera ko place karke hi set karna hai, right? Okay, now Moana, say you have some floating gem, okay, and you want him to collect that gem, okay? So now is the part where you plan it, and this is for Divyan. For you have to think of it of how you are going to show your robot and where is the robot entering the frame from and where is he going. So use the same thought process I'm using for this, okay? So Moana, see, in a static frame there is only that much you can clarify, right? Okay, right now we have clarified quite a bit. We have clarified that there are two entities here. One is small, one is big. They are on some circular, some spherical island or object. And in the background, there is a planet. Now, looking at this planet, it clarifies that they are on some kind of a planet. And so you assume, the viewer will assume that this blank space is the sky, right? Like I said, symbolic. People, if you show this to your mom, she will also probably say this. If you show this to your dad who has no clue about it, he'll also probably say, yeah, this probably is a planet and they are on some, because again, symbolic language. Now, Now, if you want to show something here, you have to start thinking, right? How and what? There are many. Yes, Moana, answer the question. Ask me the question.
I don't have this question, so I decided that I'll take one cube and just add some cylinders on all the sides that it looks something shiny, and
Okay.
just color it yellow.
Cool, cool. So I'll show you one trick. Okay, you can make a cool little diamond. So Shift A, mesh, and I'm going to use a icosphere. Okay, so when I click on the icosphere, icospheres come here. But can you see there is something called Add Icosphere? Before you left click, you get this menu. So I'm going to reduce the number of subdivisions. And can you see it's already become like a diamond? It's a gem, right? So I'm going to just roughly, so there you go, it's a gem. Okay. So I'm going to use this gem as a stand-in for your valuable object.
But if I use this one, but then I won't be able to show which part of this icosphere did the thief take.
No problem. I am just doing this as a stand-in, blocking. Okay, you can make it the way you want. Okay, no problem. Whichever way you want, you can make it. I have no problem. Okay, I'm just showing you this. So can you see I'm placing it in front of them here? I'm noticing the position and I'm placing it GX. Okay, and notice I am not placing it like this. This is again not clear because the diamond now kind of is getting mixed with the floor. So the best placed position would be here, right? In this negative space, right? Now also you can see that the size of this and this are kind of clashing, right? So maybe I will decrease this guy's size, make it less, or I'll increase this guy's size, right? And put him in the corner somewhere, okay? Now now that I put this gem, okay? Now we can see that these guys probably look like they're looking at this gem. I can actually rotate this guy Z. So he's kind of looking at the gem. Rotate Z. Okay. So now this is roughly our scene. Okay. Roughly. Okay. Now we can start doing our slight blocking. Okay. Blocking of animation. Divyan, this applies to you as well. Okay. You want to apply it to your scene. So now that we have our blocking in place. Okay. Now see how I solve this problem of how to show him there is something there, right? So imagine this guy, item, rotation में 0 कर देता हूँ, okay? I don't want them to be rotated, okay? N. All right. So now, कहाँ गया camera view? This is my camera view, okay? So now what I'm going to do is, now is the time, this guy's come really far ahead, G, Y. Move it back so they're standing together, okay? And this can be go a little behind GY. There you go, okay? So what I'm going to do is so the way I'm thinking about this is when I look at this frame, okay? When I look at this frame, I think that this object, okay, GZ, should be down somewhere, okay? And these guys are just minding their own business, looking, they just landed, they're just checking out the place, right? And then suddenly our icosphere, where the icosphere go? Our icosphere just pops up, and then it's hovering there, doing. So it comes up, is hovering here, and that's when this astronaut rotates and looks there. Ye kya hai? Okay, astronaut rotates, and then astronaut can have a hand and he points. Okay, so I'll show you that.
It has a hand, so it can just move like this.
Yeah, so I'll show you. Let's do that as well. Okay, and then he points, and this guy also turns and looks at it and goes to grab it, right? And he can just go underneath and kind of grab it. So now these are.
It has wheels to go.
It has what? Wheels.
Yeah.
I would avoid wheels. I would just make it float and go, right? Because अभी wheel को भी animate करना, अभी robot है ना, space में है, वो उड़ के जा रहा है, right? Keeping it simple. So just take a look at how I do this blocking, all right? So let's do this. Pay attention, okay, guys? And then I'm going to give you 5-10 minutes to do something, okay? So here I have my blocking. I am going to animate these guys, okay? So this is just blocking again, like I said. So पहले ये बंदा नीचे है, GZ, okay? So I'm going to put a keyframe on his position. I have selected the icosphere, and on his position I am putting a keyframe. So you can see in my timeline, we have learned how to put keyframes, right? We hit I on the keyboard to make a keyframe. Okay. Then we go forward, say, oh, sorry, one more thing we want to do is we want to change our frame rate. These things you remember, no, Moana? To 30 frames per second. This was all there in our spaceship animation. All right. So now our timeline is 30 frames per second. So in 2 seconds, in 1 second, I want this guy to start coming out. So he's still there and say here he comes out. So Z, wang, and I. So you can see now for the first 1 second nothing happens and then boing, there you go. This came. And as soon as this comes, we can have this guy rotate. So I'm going to select my astronaut guy and put a keyframe on him. And basically on his rotation, I need a keyframe. Okay. And then he rotates, say he takes some time to rotate. Okay. And so he rotates on the Z axis and looks at it. What? I. So there you go. And now we have this come up, toing, and then he turns. Now notice he took some time to look at it, right? There was too much time. Yes, Divyan.
Since I wasn't there in the level 1 spaceship animation, I am not really following on how to add keyframes and what's frame rate.
I will share that video with you, right? You can just skim through it. Usme na all the keyframing and all of that is there, right? Cool?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you just hang with me. I'll share that video, you'll get a sense of it, right? And then definitely if you have any questions, you just ask me. Alright. So notice here, ye aisa hua and I want the astronaut to turn a little faster. So I'm just going to select these guys and press G and bring them back. So now you can see this comes up, he turns. So, toing, he turned. And if I move one keyframe closer to the other, select it G, it'll turn faster. So that. Now this is how you want to start blocking your animation. Okay, Moana, now I know maybe I have given you too much information, right? And it's fine. You want to try whatever you can and I'm available for any questions, okay? So I understand your scene, you have these 3 elements, create that gem. Don't spend too much time on detailing the gem right now. Right now you want to block out your scene. You want to place some objects, you want to, like how I have done it right now, see I don't have any detail. But I have all the main elements that tell my story. That's the most important part, right? We are telling a story here. All right? Any questions, Moana? Okay, cool. So this is, I'm just going to save this file and I'm going to quickly do something for Divyan. All right? So, this is Moana. Save as. Okay. So Divyan, if I were to start from a new file, okay, just to help you out with this, okay, AXD. If I was to start with a new file, Shift A, Mesh Cube, okay, and say I scale this down, scale Y. So this is the panel I'm making for the front, okay, and what I'm going to do is I am going to go into edit mode and I'm going to select the 2 sides. Okay, and I'm going to right click and extrude faces along normals. So I have this, okay, something like that, and then I'm going to move them G on Y. So I have this kind of a thing, right? Okay, so I have this kind of a shape. Now what I want to do is I want to taper this shape, right? So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use the 3D cursor. So I'm going to go to the top view and I'm going to move the 3D cursor, T, use the 3D cursor to come somewhere here, okay? So I got the 3D cursor there. I'm manually moving the 3D cursor and I'm trying to keep it on the Y axis as accurately as possible, manually doing it. There are many ways to do this, but this is one way. Now I'm going to jump into object mode. Now you can see the origin of this is here, right? What I want to do is I want to bring the origin here, right? So I'm going to right click on that object in object mode, set origin to 3D cursor, origin to 3D cursor. You can see that when you right click, you get this set origin to 3D cursor. So now you can see the origin has jumped there. Okay. Also, I wanted to tilt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into side view. You can see that the origin and the 3D cursor are aligned with the center of our object. So I'm going to jump into edit mode and select this whole thing. Oops, sorry. I moved the 3D cursor, but that's fine. Select this whole thing, G, Z, and move it up.
Can I show what I've made?
What? One second.
Can I
Huh?
show-
One second. Okay. So now I have my origin there. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these guys and I'm going to scale it. So can you see what happened? I tapered the, because my origin is here, they are tapering this way. See? And if I move my origin further, it will taper even more, right? I can also select the bottom and scale it down. Okay. So that's what I got. And now this is the kind of environment I have. Now I can actually extrude the tops also. Just Anika, E, so I extruded the top, okay, and then I'll scale it. So I have like a, so can you see I'm just blocking this whole thing out, okay. Now say we want to have a table down here, so I'll add a loop cut down here, and then I'll, one second, huh? Control R, loop cut, bring it a little down. And then I will just select the faces and extrude them. Okay, so extrude. Okay, so now see, can you see the extrude is happening along the normal, right? So I've extruded.
To Y.
Sorry?
You need to set it to Y.
Yeah, so I just hit Y. Okay, and there you go. I've got this table. Okay, and I can also scale this because I want a taper on that. So I'll scale it down. Can you see? So I got a kind of a taper. If I want this taper to be even more, I can just click on the edges, and I showed you this, right? GG. GG is edge slide. So can you see now it's tapered a little more, okay? GG, little more, and up here also I'll taper this, GG, move this up, so I have a little more space. And now let's just make the window. Again, it's a simple extrude. Actually, it's an inset. So I inset. Now can you see my inset is happening together? I don't want that, so I'll press I again. Now it will inset individual faces, right? And you can see that the inset isn't happening properly, they're different. That's because we haven't applied our transformation. So I'm going back into object mode, apply, and all transforms. Now let's see if our inset works a little better. There you go. You can see your inset is a lot cleaner now, right? Cool. So we have this inset. I'll just delete this faces and X faces, right? There you go. Now it's time to put in the camera. Shift A, sorry, go back into edit mode, Shift A, mesh, camera. Jump into the camera and lock the camera and then move this guy about. There you go. And here we have a camera view. Okay, and now through the camera you can see what all is missing. Should I be closer? Should I change something? There's another thing you can do, okay? With the camera selected, you can go into the camera options. And in the camera options, there's something called focal length. If you change this value, you'll see that the camera's distortion changes. See, I haven't changed the position of the camera, but it changes the field of view. So this is an interesting thing you can do, right? And then now you place your camera. Okay, then you can place.
Length was the problem I was having yesterday with the zoom in problem.
That clipping problem is there also, and this is a framing issue. It's not an issue actually. This is actually how cameras are there in real life, right? Our eye actually works with 35 Our eye actually looks at things like this, right? And generally movie cameras are at 50 and the highest you would get in the real world is 120 which is something like this. But in Blender you can go to 500, 5000 also if you want, right? But you can see it goes close to orthographic. You can see these lines are almost becoming parallel. The wider it is, 35, the more distorted your perspective is. The bigger this number, the less distorted. You see? The lines are almost parallel here. But at 35 or say 15, you can see these lines are so distorted, right? So that's the difference. And that gives you different looks, okay? So now you can set your camera. Of course, there's no ground, so I'll put a plane down there, scale it up, so we have a ground, okay? And then Shift A, let's put your cylinder as a robot, GZ, and GY, okay? So now you can think of this guy as, okay, and now as I have my camera, I'm going to make a new panel. This is my camera panel, and jump out of this view. Now I have to see, okay, is this guy too big, too small? Oh, they're all in the air. So I'll bring this guy up, GZ. Okay, so ये इधर आया, इसको भी और लेता हूँ, GZ. Okay, his scale is too big, so I'll scale him down, GZ. And now can you see, now this composition already is very clear right now. You know that, okay, there's this guy, GY, he can come in from outside, right? Sit in his docking station, things will light up, and then, you know, whatever, right? So can you see this composition is a lot clearer, right? Okay. All right, so that brings us to the end of today's session, okay? And so you guys have a little bit of homework. Yes, Moana?
I can't zoom in and zoom out again.
Why? What happened?
Look.
Okay,
I
you
can't
share your screen with me. Okay, I'm stopping
Yeah.
to share. While you're doing that, let me just say some things. Okay, so your homework from today to the next session. So our next session is actually the last session. Okay.
Can you see?
Yes, Moana, show me.
Look, I'm zooming out, but it's not zooming out only.
Okay, so
Wait. 1 second. Yeah.
Yes. So Moana, you have to start solving problems. All right, you have to start figuring out. ये हुआ तो ये हो सकता है problem, and that will happen slowly. Now, for example, if you get lost like that inside some object and you're not able to scale, you're not able to zoom out, just go to your outliner. Okay, just go to your outliner, click on your camera, or click on some object that you know where it is. Right? Click on the object and just go to frame selected. Outliner. You're in a properties panel now. In the outliner, because if your camera is lost somewhere in your scene, you don't know where it is, you're unable to zoom out, you're unable to do anything, just click on the object you know in your outliner and just do frame selected. Okay. So guys, to be able to complete what we want to complete within the course, right, of level 2, okay, what I need you guys to do, okay, Moana, stop fidgeting around, listen to me. Okay, I need you to spend some time working on this. Okay, it is going to take some time on your end. Okay, you're going to have to spend at least an hour or two, right, across from now till the last session, right? So 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours totally should be good enough. Okay, now what do I want you to do? Okay, I'm going to share my screen, 1 second. Okay. Right. So what I want you to do is, I want you guys, bring call back here. Right. Avi, you wanted to share your screen, right? We'll do that as soon as I'm done. Okay. Just give me a minute. So Divyan and Moana and Avish. Okay. This is what I want you to do from now to the next session. Okay. And in the next session, we will just finalize your scene. Okay. I want you to do your blocking like this. Okay. I want you to do, this is actually, like I said, is the layout. So you start laying out your scene with whatever models you have, right? Start laying it out and start planning out what kind of animation you want, right? In Divyan's case, you want to figure out, are you having a zoom in? Are you zooming in the camera? Is the robot coming in, going out, right? And I want you to place those things. Now, Divyan, I know you don't know how to put keyframes. That's why I'm going to share a video with you, right? Watch that video and you can touch base with me on the group if you have any doubts, right, on how to, what are keyframes, how to add keyframes, and all of that, right? Moana, you already know how to add keyframes, right? So you want to roughly try to put, like, you know, your gem is coming up and your robot is turning. These kind of slows, little bit things I want you to try. But that is secondary. Those things we'll do in the next session. What mainly I want you to do is do your layout. Okay, set your camera, set your objects, set everything in place. Correct? Clear, Moana? Yeah. Divyan, you too, right? Set your entire scene, your blocking in place. Okay.
Can I share my screen?
Yeah, you can share. Once you can share, Ravi. Okay. Now, after you set your camera and your layout, the next step for you is to color it also. So I want you to bring your your camera set, your layout done, and all your objects should have a basic color on it. All right, guys? Yeah, Divyan?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just basic colors. Don't worry about the starry night sky, because both of you have a starry night sky in your scene. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the lighting and all of that. We'll do all of that in the next session. All right, and we'll do the little bit animation also in the next session. Okay. What you need to do is get your scene ready. Okay. What is visible in the camera? All the elements should be there, and all the elements should be colored. Yes, Moana? Clear? Okay. Like this, like see how Avi's scene is. You can see, right? His robots are all colored. Right? Like that, all your robots should be colored. His safe also here is colored. Okay, good job, Avi. I can see what you are doing. So show me. So that's the homework. Clear? Any questions, guys? Okay, it's 11:35. We'll quickly see.
But
Avi
I did the homework.
Very good. Avi, can you turn off your N tab? Hit N on the keyboard. Okay. Very good, Avi. So you have a bank robbery, right? And these robots are running with stuff on their back, right?
This is the money bag.
Ah, very good. So see, there is a thought process, right? How are they carrying the money? Who's taking it, right? And the robot looks more like a cop, right? Because of his colors, correct? No, but these guys also having a red rocket and blue body kind of make them look similar to the robot. So you want to change that, right? Of course, I know you have put green on their body as well, but because of the red and blue, they look like maybe they are part of the same team, right?
What if I do this?
You can do that. Okay. Now and now the other thing is, Avi, you want to create an environment. Okay. So right now they are all in limbo, just in space, hanging out in space, right? So you have to start putting a camera and put an environment. Okay. That's the work to be done. Yeah. See, darker colors for bad guys are good, right? Bad guys always have dark, dirty colors, and the good guys will always have bright colors. Again, this is another symbolic thing, right? People understand this, right? People understand this, that bright and nice colors are good, and dark, and so you notice this in movies also. Whenever the bad guys come, the screen will become dark, the lights will become dark and muddy, or scary, cold. And when the hero comes, it will all become nice and blue and nice colors, right? So see, good. So just that color change immediately makes these guys look like bandits, right? Yeah, Avi. Okay. And now you have added an element of the safe, and the safe is open and it's empty. So that also tells a story, right? That these guys have taken something from there, right? Now you can further clarify this. By
putting a money sign.
That though you can do. Those are details. But one thing is there, your robot right now standing near the door, it looks like he opened the door for them. Right? He looks like he's just standing there, right? So now you want to think about what he's doing. Maybe he's flying towards them, so he's tilted a little bit, right? He's trying to chase them. Okay? So, but before you do that, you have to have a camera, Avi. Without a camera, you cannot place things properly, right? You have to set your camera, and you have to have an environment. So you place a floor, place a wall, that will give you orientation, right? So very good. You have done the blocking. This is the homework that needs to be done, right? You are blocking, you are laying out, and as you are laying out, you are thinking about, acha, ye kya animation ho raha hai? Kya ho raha hai yahan pe? Right? And you are trying to answer the questions an audience would ask, right? Or just think about if you're showing this to your mom, dad, Moana and Divyan, or you're showing it to your friends. What are the questions they would have? What would confuse them about the image, right? And then you want to clarify it. You want to clarify it visually, without having to explain, without having to label anything with text, right? That is the job of visual communication, right? And anyone making art is actually a visual communicator. Anyone who's a fine artist or a commercial artist is a visual communicator. You are at the end communicating with your artwork, right? You are trying to send a message, you are trying to tell a story, right? Right now we are trying to tell a story with our images, right? We are trying to tell a story ki what happened here, who is this, who, what is he doing, why is he doing that, right? We are trying to answer. Anika, 1 second. We are trying to answer all those questions. Avi, you can stop sharing. Okay. All right. So in summary, okay, in summary, just quick recap. You guys are going to take your scenes and block out your scenes, which is layout. You're going to place your camera and place your objects and think about what are the actions that are going to happen. If you can put keyframes and keyframe your animation, please go ahead and do that, right? Try that, okay? I will reshare the spaceship video from level 1, even for you, Moana. Go through it again to remember keyframes, and once you are done with your layout and coloring, then try to do the animation part. But the primary is layout and color all your objects the way you want it to be in the final, right? How you want your colors to be, color everything that you like, okay, right? And we will do the animation part and tweaking part and trying to render it in our next session. Clear, Divyan? Any questions for me? Anyone?
No.
Wonderful.
When will you send the video?
I'll send it right now.
Okay.
Right now. I'll log out and I'll share it with you.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right. Okay, guys. See you on Saturday. All right. And you can definitely get in touch with me for any questions you have. Okay, because it's a sprint from now to Saturday. You have to finish this. We want to complete that scene, right? All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.